How's it going, my coding family? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Good to see you guys. How's it going? Good to see you guys. Anybody want to practice some questions for medical coding? Thanks for tapping the screen and sharing the live. Be sure and check your headers first. We have an E&M question for an established patient. Are we a level 1, level 2, level 3? Travis, is that level 8? Turn it down. He doesn't turn it up until I go live, and then he thinks it's dance time. How's everybody doing? I do have a channel on YouTube, absolutely. Medical Coding by Jen. Absolutely. There's tons of videos there that can help you out. Practice questions are available there too. I go live on YouTube on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so tomorrow night's live will be on YouTube. Mondays and Wednesdays, I go live here on TikTok. Hey, Go-Kart, good to see you. "6:30 Arizona time zone." The answer is A. Even if this is a follow-up 2 weeks after a cataract surgery, we're going to bill an E&M visit? Or would we bill a post-op visit? It depends on how many global days you have. Some surgeries have 0 global days. It's just the day of the surgery. And some do have post-op periods. That one is D. That is the answer. It's more of grabbing that information, noting that the patient did follow up after their surgery and come in to see the surgeon again. Good job. What about this one? We've got several CPT codes, but we've got 2 of them in the 622 area, and 2 of the answers are in the 621 area. Where would we be if we are doing vent to peri? This is the important word. Thanks, Go-Kart. You can probably pin your comment, Go-Kart, so it stays there for a minute if you know how to do that. Where's a good place to find practice test for myself? On see. I recommend where are we at? Of course, you know I recommend AAPC. And if you are on, let me see if I can get this to work. On AAPC's website, and you go to the training and certification, you go to the place where it says prepare for exam, and you go to practice exam questions. They have them listed here. If you already have exams A, B, C, D, E, and F, and you need more questions, I recommend the COC practice exam questions. Same thing, but harder questions. They have exams A, B, C, D, E, F. Super helpful there. You might have a little bit of billing questions that aren't relatable to CPC, but they're all inpatient surgery stuff and super helpful. Another place that I go for practice exam questions is I click the specialty tab right here. If you click that, you can find like this EM one, this CEMC. For $40, you get all E&M practice exam questions. Super helpful there. The ED ones are all in the ER. The FP ones, the CFPC, are all family practice ones, so you might get some immunization ones and other medical doctor office ones. Super cool. The CCC is all cardiovascular. The PEDS is for pediatrics. So I like to buy these because they're $40 and they're good cases. Another place you can go to get them is my website, of course, medicalcodingbyjen.com. If you do sign up for my website, it's completely free. I do have a practice area right there. It says practice area. You can click that and you'll run into a bunch of practice exam questions. You just click on the answer you think it is and it'll tell you what the rationale is. I also have 3 flashcards for mostly E&M here. These 3 flashcard exams can be retaken after you do them once by leaving that program and rejoining it. So these flashcards are designed so that you can sort of memorize which header the E&M codes are under, like am I doing admit hospital with this code or am I doing an observation with this code. Super helpful. There's some PDFs you can download for free too. Also on my website on the main page is who I've recommended for several years now, which is Pocket Prep, that pink button that just flashed by. Their logo is also right here. Pocket Prep is a great location to go to for practice exam questions. When you click on that link on my website, you'll go here, just click on medical, and the top link is for AAPC CPC. They have 750 practice exam questions for $15. Super handy dandy. You can build your own exams. They do have a pass guarantee. They tell you where the page numbers are, where the answers are, and it's what we were doing earlier today. And I believe the CCO people, they have a couple of exams, the Sapphire and what have you, for like $80. They have some practice exam questions that I can recommend too. Fix this question back the way I had it so you guys can see it. Other than that, do not buy the questions that you can find on Amazon or any of the other practice exam questions that are available for sale online. I don't really like them. I've bought all of them, I promise you. Bought a fortune of them. But these are the 3 companies I like. I'm doing another workshop this Sunday. If you go to my YouTube channel, so we go Medical Coding by Jen, just Google that. You'll find my YouTube channel here. On my main page on YouTube, if you scoochie down, right here you can see this cardiovascular upcoming workshop right there. It's completely free, so it will be this Sunday. We're going to do all 17 sections of the CPC exam. We're going to do 3 hours. I'm going to try to do 75 questions in 3 hours in the same format and speed as what is expected on your medical coding exam. We're going to do them 120 seconds per question, and it is completely free because Sunday is my birthday and I'm giving away the workshop for free. So the link is already up for you guys. Hope to see you there. It starts off 2 o'clock Arizona time zone. Thanks for the follow, Hot. Look at Twinkle pinning some comments. Good job. Interested in self-study. Once I purchase the books and material, do you offer one-on-one coaching? I'm trying to get back into that, but it probably honestly won't happen till August of 2024. I am going to retire as of June 1st from my real full-time job, but then that's the summertime and the boys will be home, so I can't. It's really hard with the 15-year-olds to do anything when they're home, much less tutor and charge people to tutor one-on-one. So when they start back up in school in August or September probably, is when I will go back to doing one-on-one tutoring on a limited basis. Before I had it to where it was, 4 days a week, every morning, but then one person would book that entire month for an entire week, each day. So I'm going to limit it to where you can only book once a month maybe, or maybe twice a month individually, if I can figure that out on my website, so that I'm not doing the same person every day all day long. I mean, I would love to do that. That'd be great, but I'm not sharing. We're not sharing the wealth there, So I got to figure out a way to get this to where you're allowed to book, but we can limit it to maybe twice a month or something like that, so that I'm not being utilized by just 1 or 2 people. But yes, I do plan on going back to doing that, I hope, but it probably won't be till September of 2024, honestly. I was changing the dates today on that, actually. What do you guys think the answer is to this question? I consider these free live lessons that I do 4 nights a week, individual, really, too, because if you've got a question, just type it in there. Kimberly, thanks for the follow. Thanks for tapping the screen and sharing the live, guys. You just long press hold your message on TikTok, and then that will give you the option to pin it. I think you're a moderator, aren't you? Aren't you, Go-Kart? At least one of your accounts used to be. Let me add you as a moderator. There you go. I know you used to be. Tad, thanks for the follow. Happy early birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I got my first birthday present today from my mama's baby sister, Aunt Candy. My Aunt Candy used to be the world champion baton twirler back in the day at Memphis State University. If you ever look her up. Is there an echo? I'm sorry. I hope there isn't. She sent me a Star Wars kitchen set. I've got Star Wars cookie cutters and all kinds of stuff, and a towel for the kitchen with some Star Wars stuff on it, because that's my favorite movie. One of my favorite movies. I like Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock too, and Star Wars, of course. Could you explain how would I review this type of question to come up with my answer? So we go to just the answers first. Do not read the question at all. Go to the individual CPT codes in your book and see what your differences are. So if we go to 62190, which is the first one in numerical order, and I run to those codes, part of this is getting muscle memory and being able to run to these codes in your book as fast as you should be able to. If we go look at 62190, which has recently been on somebody's medical coding exam, we can see that that is under the header of shunt. 2220 is also under the header of shunt. The 90 code is under the one word difference is atrial. And then 2220 is ventricle and atrial. If we look at our differences between the 223, that one's ventricle and peri. And our 2292 is subdural peri. What were we looking for? The one word that we were looking for out of this particular question was venti-peri. So which one of those codes is just venti-peri? That's your 2223, right? Perfect. So if you have these, let me see if I got the camera working today. Whoops. No. Add camera. So having those one word differences highlighted in these particular coding descriptions really helps out. Knowing that you're looking for venti-peri, or the first one was atrial alone. This one's that and that. Super helpful just to have those one word differences written out underneath those codes. Super helpful. Let's check out our next question. So we'd never read the question. We always go to the very first answers, right? We've got 3 answers here that start off with a C, and then the next answer starts off with a D. Our C category header is neoplasms, where D is cancer in situ usually. Or we could be in a blood disorder issue for this one too with the D. Looking up the difference between CO6, don't go down to the 0.89, just stop at CO6, and then also go see what the code difference is for D63. Don't go down to 0.0, just the header, D63. That's all you got to do. It'll let you know, because that's where your guidelines are at, is at the first 3 digits. If you stop at the CO6, you'll see, can I add the D63? Do I have to? Am I supposed to? Which one goes first? Which one goes second? That's where you'll find your guidelines. So go into the answers first is what we do. Would I have 2 diagnoses? Would I only have 1? You guys tell me what you think the answer is. Midwest, thank you for the heart me, the friendship bracelets, and the friendship necklaces. You are awesome. You shared last time I went live on TikTok. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there still an echo? Scullery, she's my subscriber here on TikTok. Good to see you. I hope y'all can come to the workshop. Thanks, GK, for sharing the live. I do free help on TikTok and on YouTube. YouTube I go live 2 days a week. TikTok I go live 2 days a week. All that info is on my website, medicalcodingbyjen.com. If you go to the social media tab, at the bottom of that tab has my schedule on it. When I go live, what days. And if I'm going to have a workshop, those are usually able to be scheduled on my website too. But I give away 2 a year, every Christmas and then every birthday month. So the 10 other months of the year, I do workshops on Sundays, usually once a month, and they're less than $20 for the 3 hours. So if you feel like paying, there is a donation link on my website at Medical Coding by Jen. There's a donation tab, but you don't have to. I like hanging out with you guys, especially on my birthday. Y'all make it more fun. Plus, I like to be useful, and if I can make a difference in your life, that'd be great. Have you had any coaching students who did extremely well, only self-study? Yep. Me, myself, and I, and about 2,000 or more students I've taught in the past, 4 years now almost. So, yeah, lots. And in fact, lots of people do better with self-study with me in my free lessons than they ever did with a paid course that included a teacher. Hey XO, good to see you. It's a big community, but it's a small community, if that makes any sense. Everybody in the medical field knows somebody who's in the medical field who knows somebody who's in the medical field. So once you get into it, if you happen to need like for instance, my mom fell and broke her hip last month, March. And I needed to get her a bed, a hospital bed for when she got discharged from the hospital. Well, of course, me being in the medical community, I asked one friend, and that friend ended up scheduling and having a guy deliver my mom's hospital bed the next day. And then that same friend, I said, I need a CNA. Who you got that's good? Because I wanted to hire private pay, because I knew it would take forever for health insurance to get going and get her a home health aide if she needed one, because I knew when she got discharged I was going to need help getting her showered and stuff. And you don't really want your family doing it, you really want a stranger. I mean, if that makes any sense when you're older. So I had that squared away before she even got discharged. So same thing when you're in the medical field and you are getting employed and hired in the field. If you ever need a particular surgeon, or somebody in your family needs a specialist for anything, you being in the field is going to give you access to behind the doors quick. You need to go here, you do not need to go there. And your reputation will also follow you. So if you are unhelpful and don't work well with others, it will follow you too. So you got to be careful, because the medical community is a small one once you get into it. I do not work well in group office settings because of all the distractions. Like, don't come to my office and tell me about your weekend and your cats and your dogs and I love you to death, but I'm clocked in and I'm putting in my 8 hours and going home. You can send me that in your email or something, or on a text message. I don't like office playing. It's just me. It's just always been me. And it will take me never to remember your name, usually, if you're from different departments and stuff like that. So I never really worked well with others, even though I'm very sweet and love to teach and stuff like that. But in the office setting, I'm very professional, no nonsense, kind of non-fluff, and I'm not part of the birthday club, or I don't know, the round robin, and I don't want to hear about what your boyfriend got you and all this other stuff. I'm just never have been that kind of person. And I think talking and visiting when you're being paid by somebody else, an hourly wage or whatever, is not helpful either for the company. So I'm always worried about 10 million other things. So it's stressful. It makes me a good manager, but it makes me a terrible coworker. But anyway, so it just depends. That's why I've been working home and remotely since 2013. I wasn't really needed in the office. I don't socialize there or make a big impact while I'm there. So the company was super happy to let me just work from home because I'm more efficient there anyway. I think AI will be great, and it will help out in medical coding for sure. Everybody saying D? Good job, guys. I know for a fact, even as I feed in the new guidelines into ChatGPT-4, it still cannot create practice exam questions. I know it's going to be a long time before it can, between the different nuances between the health insurance plans and the contracts that medical groups write with their vendors, meaning hospitals, labs, and things. It's going to be a long, long time, if ever, before it will actually be able to take over and do what we do. But I think it can be a great tool. I mean, Google is a great tool. You want to know what a code is for an incomplete amputation, you can Google it, and it at least gets you to a range of codes that you can look at. But it won't help you with what if it's Medicare, What if it's this group insurance in this state because it can't hold all the LCDs and the national guidelines? It's just impossible to calculate all that stuff, but I think it's going to be a great tool. I think it's going to work really well and make us better coders, I think, one of these days, I hope. But I can't even get it to write or create a graphic based off a particular guideline and get it even in English. It writes like alien language when it's trying to create just a photograph explaining a guideline. I was trying to get it to create a guideline, a graphic for a blog just off of risk, problem list, and data. Just those 3 words: problem list, data, and risk. And it knows I'm talking about E&M guidelines. And the wild mess, it couldn't even spell those 3 words correctly on my graphic. And I pay for ChatGPT 4. And it couldn't even spell those words correctly on the graphic that it was producing. So it's still a ways away. I don't even worry about it yet. Y'all are A? What y'all putting a 53 modifier on that for? What are y'all doing? 53 modifiers for a discontinued procedure? Oh, do they have this one correct? This one may be incorrect. Let's see. What is this? 453. 453. 453. 45330. And y'all are saying it's 78. Where are we at? That's the colonoscopy. What was scheduled today? What did we schedule? We scheduled a colonoscopy, so no matter what, we're going to bill a colonoscopy. Right? Even if we didn't get to advance something. Where's our little coding tip on this page? There's a coding tip somewhere. Sigmoid, rectum, sigmoid includes descending codon. Yeah. There's a coding tip somewhere. If we use our decision tree, was this diagnostic or it was diagnostic? So, and then does not reach beyond the splenic procedure, we should bill the 45330. So on this, what do you think of this? Our little decision tree that's down here. If we're doing a colonoscopy, you first have to decide whether you're diagnostic or therapeutic. We were diagnostic. And then does not reach or beyond the splenic. And they're saying beyond the splenic flexure, but not to the cecum. We don't have that word, but the beyond is supposed to be the 78 with the 53 modifier, right? 45378 with the 53 modifier. If it says beyond splenic, beyond the splenic flexure, right here says does not reach the splenic, would have been the 30. But I think because of that beyond word, it's supposed to be the 53. What's the explanation say? Y'all can't see it, but says 53 describes a discontinued procedure. However, the CPT guidelines advise the decision tree diagram that the procedure, the fact the scope did not go beyond splenic fissure should be reported differently. You can see that they've updated Pocket Prep today to include the 2024 CPT books. What do you guys say? I don't get this question because I got the 78. Go back to Pocket Prep. Sign in. Oops. So if you're on Pocket Prep's main site right here where it's telling you, hello, good evening, whatever, there's a help button up at the top. You can message the staff questions right there. I'm trying to do that, but my site's acting funny. Here we go. Let's see. Messages. I was talking to Miss Emily about several questions. Let me give her this one again. Copy. I'm just messaging them real quick to ask them about this question, so give me just a second. Paste. Question because the decision tree says BEYON beyond equals 45378-53 mod. Mod would be the answer on page. Ooh, what book am I in? No, it ain't gonna work. I gotta get in the 2024 because that's what they're using. This is 368 if you're in the 2023 book. Let's see, what page is this on if you're in the 2024? It's 376. 376 in the 2024 book. All right, hit the send button. Here we go. And they'll get back with me tomorrow about that. And we'll come back to this when they finish answering that question. But I think because of the one word beyond, if that word beyond is not in the question, then it would be D. But because the word beyond is in it, then the answer should be A. '52 modifier is only for your therapeutic ones, guys. Look at your decision tree, and you see at the top, it says whether your procedure is diagnostic or therapeutic. All the diagnostic, there's only one possible answer with the 53. The 52 only comes into play if you're therapeutic. And look at our question. Our question, oops, did I do that right? Yep. Our question definitely says It was a diagnostic one. So diagnostic is strictly 53. Therapeutic is going to be 52. Does that make more sense, Abram? Or Abraham? Sorry. Yay. Good, 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 good. Perfect. Awesome. Another ICD 10-1. What I would do is don't do the point zeros, 0.5, 0.1, 0.0. Just go to the header differences. A19, A27, or A30. That should narrow down your searches. It's probably a difference between these two, B and C. Are we a 0.1 or 0.5? They got rid of the Easter bunnies. No more Easter eggs when you tap the screen. We got 3,600 taps so far. B, everybody's B, good job. What about this one? The first thing I see is that we have a code as a possible answer that is an add-on code, and that's the only code that's listed. So A can't possibly be the answer because I think that one's an add-on code. Isn't that our microscope code? 699. I think that's an add-on code. So if you ever see any answers where the only code that is listed has a plus symbol in front of it, then that code cannot stand alone as your coding complete answer. They might ask you a question where an add-on code is the answer because they're asking you which add-on code would you use, but they're asking us about a particular surgery and what would be the answer. It can't be that one because it can't stand alone by itself. So we can get rid of that one. Now we're down to a 75% chance of getting the answer correct. Did we do one procedure or did we do two? Can I code 64864? I don't know if I even said that right. With the microscope code or not? If you don't have my notes, because in my notes I put little blue stars next to every code in this section if you're allowed to use the microscope code with it, if you did it. And that would be helpful because the descriptor doesn't tell you, the parenthetical doesn't tell you, and nor do the guidelines here. You have to have either built these codes before and have it pass through, an ENCCI edit or something like that, or have my notes. Anyway, 64864. Would we use it all by itself, or would we add the microscope, or do we add a 72 with it, the other add-on that's right below it, and not the microscope? What do you guys think? Yes, it was nails. Thank you again, Midwest, for the Heart Me friendship bracelets, friendship necklace. What are you going to do in the medical coding certification exam? They will ask you a question about either adding or not having this microscope code on an exam question, for sure. I know it was on mine. Lots of people report it being on their exams. There are some of the codes in the parenthetical that will tell you don't use it. And if you go to that microscope code, there is a huge list of do nots. Don't use it with this, don't use it with that. Be sure you've gone to each one of those codes and verified there's a parenthetical underneath it to make sure, because it starts all the way in integumentary and goes all the way through the nervous system. Make sure every single one of those is marked with a do not, because if it isn't, then you can mark it. I says D. Good job. Perfect. What do you guys think about this one? We have two answers with a modifier. The 59 and the 51. Is this a particular set of codes that you need to have one of those modifiers for? Maybe for like eyes, ears, or something that has bilateral and needs a bilateral. It's kind of cool. So, but you guys tell me. Janet, thanks for the follow. Hopefully I can help you out with any medical coding. Y'all are going D again. We've got three of them with the same answer. One without a modifier, and these two have modifiers. Are we going off the rail with a B? No modifier. What's going on with this one? I didn't look up the code. 534. Let's go see. 5344. 53442. Removal or revision of a sling for a male urinary incontinence. Why would we need a 51 modifier? 51 is for multiple procedures? It's just one procedure. And something that he had done 3 months ago would be past his global period, so we wouldn't really need a modifier at all. He doesn't have 2 bladders or 2 urethras, so yep, no reason for a modifier that I can see. Are we in the integumentary system or are we in the musculoskeletal system? Do you know the difference? If we were in the musculoskeletal system, Would we add an integumentary to it? Would we need the 51 modifier or the 59? Don't worry about it. You have me and my undivided attention. Ask away. Whatever you need, I'm here. Lacerations, injuries, removals, and excisions are all done in integumentary, but there is three things that are done in musculoskeletal exclusively. Gunshot wounds, stabbings, lipomas, and masses are all removed in musculoskeletal. We can see here that we are doing a stabbing victim and wound exploration. So we know we should be in musculoskeletal. We won't be in integumentary. There's an advanced question for like COC people, not CPC, but by chance, if you do have a person who has a gunshot wound or a stabbing and an organ was injured and they also have to do the organ repair, we do not code for the musculoskeletal explore of the wound. We convert the procedure over just to that liver laceration or the kidney repair from the stabbing. Whatever it is, we're just going to code for that repair. But that is never on the CPC exam. This question does show up on the CPC exam quite often. You'll have 2 answers with integumentary and 2 answers in the 20,000s. So you'll know right away, as soon as you see a stabbing victim or a gunshot wound, you know you're going to be in musculoskeletal. You can get rid of 2 answers right away, or anything with integumentary in it, and then you'll know what your answer is. Oh, don't feel dumb, Robin. How close are you? You know, you could email me at medicalcodingbyjen@gmail.com the screenshot of the breakdown of your scores, and I will tell you what to concentrate on for your efforts on another attempt if you're going to go forward again. I hope you can. That's what they're trying to make you think, that there are 2 procedures here. But no, there isn't. If you're going to explore the wound, all of this is done in that code 20103. It'll take care of the debridement, the widening of it, and the repair. Thanks for the follow. You got one more chance. That's awesome. Send me your screenshot of your breakdown of scores. If you did really bad in like hip picks, don't worry about it. It's only 3 questions on the exam. If you did bad in E&M and cases, that's cool. I've got a great video for you to watch that I can send you that will be 75 questions just for E&M and cases. If you do bad in lab and path, but you scored a 50% in lab and path, that's an A 100% in my book. Great. Don't study that. You're doing great there. Everything from anesthesia through radiology, we want those sections to be in your high 80s range, because you got 6 questions per section except for anesthesia, and we can bring those scores up with some of my tricks and guidelines that I know in each section that will make a difference in picking out the correct answers for those sections, for sure. Do you know where to find the breakdown of your score on all 18 sections in your AAPC account? You know that exam is written with clinical psychologists who review the wording of each question to make sure that it is written with misleading psychological terms to confuse you. So don't feel dumb about that score at all. Not at all. It is purposely written with psychologists to get you confused. That's why we don't read the questions. We go straight to the answers. If you have 2 answers with the same answer, like A and C here, then they want to know, do you know if you can add the second code to it or not? What's going on with that 33211? That's a temporary transvenous dual chamber pacing electrode. Cool. Did we do atrial? Would you add in the 08? 08 is a child code. You can't do nothing with it unless you go look at, see what mama is. Mama is 206 code, and that's replacing a pacemaker. Did we replace a pacemaker? Or the 11 was a dual chamber pacing electrodes for a temporary one. And our 06 is a permanent pacemaker. 06 is going with the 08. 08 is in 3 of your answers. 06 is permanent. They said they were doing temporary, right? So 08 says permanent. This one has 08 in it. This one has 08 in it. It can't be 08 because it's a child code of 06, and if you go look at the code for 06, it says it is to replace a permanent. And we're doing temporary. And the only temporary there is the 11, because the parent code, nope, it is a parent code. It is its own parent code, sorry. It's temporary. Also, look at the pattern of these answers. I mean, 3 of your answers have the 08 in it. Only one answer doesn't. Sometimes the answer is, what's the oddball? Where's the one that doesn't look like the rest? And that ends up being the answer. All right. B and C are most similar. So I would start off with those two right away. Which of the following does not have bundled into the code? Thanks, Robin. You don't understand this question? Okay, just a second. Trying to reply to another email. Okay. And then, oh yeah, I'm going to Gmail. There's Robin. Cases, compliance and regulatory, E&M. Look at those hit picks and med terms, 100%, and your medicine section. Wow. That's a really good score on your medicine section. And your guidelines. That was good. Good. Good, 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 good. Yeah, we got to work on integumentary, musculoskeletal. I can't see the 4,000s and 5,000s, but I think that's probably, that has to be where you're, yeah. Yep. What's your lab and path? Lab and path is fantastic. Okay, good. HIPICS is great. Okay. Yep. We just got to do integumentary, musculoskeletal, cardio, respiratory, male, female, and urology, nervous system, and E&M. Yeah, we can back up those. Good. I got 2 workshops I can send you. Both those workshops, one of them is going to be all compliance and regulatory, and then the other one is going to be E&M. And that's going to be close to 200 questions just on those subjects. And that'll be good. Yep. Did you guys figure out what you thought the answer was for this one? Y'all thinking it's the 4? It is. Perfect. Good job. What about this one in integumentary? Did you do 1 procedure, or did you do 2 or 3 procedures? You know they're going to try to push you to say that you did 3, and it's fine if you did do 3 to bill it, but be careful. Let me let them work on this one for just a second while I look at this one. 77423. I'll go back to it in just a minute. 77423. I was doing emails, so I didn't even do this question for me to even 423 to see what they're talking about. 423. I bet it's about that chart that's on, well, if you're in the 2024 book, it's on page 572, and they want to know if TC or 26 is bundled in it. And you just look at that chart, and it says yes or no. So there's this chart in the wherever you're at. Right here in radiology, it says radiation management and treatment table, and it's got yes and no's, and then just follow along with those CPT codes and look to see which one has yes. 77423. 423 probably. Yep. We've got a yes underneath that code at the top saying yes, it's bundled in it. Yep. What do you guys think is the answer? You like that, Nails? They love charts. So if this book has a chart in it, you know that decision tree for the colonoscopy, this decision tree for the radiology, they love charts. They want to know, do you know how to use them? So don't be afraid of the book. Look around. You find things like this. Figure out what the little sheet or document is talking about. This one was 423. 423. I think it was. Four, 3, 2, or 3, 4, 4, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. Yep, 4, 2, 3. It's in the 4, 3, 2 one. Not the 4, 2, 3, but the 4, 3, 2. What does their rationale say? There's a parenthetical statement. Should not be used. Not in this book. 559. There's not a parenthetical on this one. Oh, 77387. 77387, there's a parenthetical that tells you what? For guidance, treatment, go to don't use with, yeah. No worries. Happy to help. 77386, yeah. There's a report professional component PC of guidance and tracking with 77387 with modifier 26. Yeah. Y'all are saying B with this one. What did we remove? Previously biopsied. We have positive margins. Positive margins, does that mean you're a 116 or a 114? What are you if you are a positive margin? A 114 or a 116? (116) with a 120 44. We got a B with this one because we did the undermining, right? And we had the layered closure. I'm still looking at exactly why the answer is what they're saying it is. I'm wondering, because that chart, the 77432 has a yes under the right thing. Let me show you guys. Add, whoops, wrong one. So for this question, on this lovely chart, we've got our 77387 up here, so we need to find a yes, right? does not have, no, we need to find a no, right? Does not have bundled in it. Bundled into it would have been a yes. Okay. So the bundled no for the 2020, the 77423, which is D, it has a no. It's not bundled into it. And we were asked to find the one that is a no. Because if we look at our 7371 right here, that says yes to it being bundled in right there. It's got a yes. Our 77373 right there has a yes. And then our 77386, 386. Is 386 on here? There it is right there. 386 is here, and it has a yes in it. So the only one that has a no is our 77423, which is right here, and it has a no. They're just wanting to know, do you know the differences between this chart and how to find one that is no? Does that help? Yep, page 559 in the 2023 book and 572 in the 2024 book. Sorry, it's hard to juggle multiple things going on. What did we do? We did, you know you're going to be a 116 because of this question, because anything with positive margins means you have a malignancy. So it has to have a 116 in it. Then you just needed to know, did you do 2 procedures or 1? Next one. Are we new or established? That's the first thing I see. With these zeros, you know you are a new patient. With the 1, you're an established patient. So if we could find out our patient status and know whether this is a new or established patient, then if they are established, we know our answer is going to be C right off the bat. So that's helpful. Another thing I'm looking at is, did I do 2 procedures or did I do 3 procedures on a patient? That's helpful. This is outdated guidelines right here. I need to write them and get them to get rid of those because we don't do history or examination by different levels. So that's one thing that's I see right off the bat that they need to fix on this question. But it might be correct other than that. I don't know. You tell me, Nels. Is it established or not? I'm just asking if it is or isn't. I'm saying if the question and the answer does end up being an established patient, and you do find that in there, you will know what the answer is right away. I don't think I see anything in there that says they're established. It kind of looks like this is their first time being seen, so we can probably get rid of that one. Now you're down to a 75% chance of getting it correct. Did you do 2 procedures, or did you do 3? Did we do a 55 or a 54? What's the differences between those two CPT codes? That'll help a lot, just knowing that. '54 does biopsies in the cervix and the endocervix, where 55 only does biopsies in the cervix. So where was our biopsies? They were in the cervix, endocervix, and endometrial. I says A. Tamlin says D. We have a parenthetical below all these codes. Check that out. We have a do not. We have a computer aided. And we also have a parenthetical that says for endometrial sampling performed with the other things, use what code? Anybody want to change their answer? I'm sorry, don't forget. Have you gone through the entire book and have you marked up your do's and do nots for every single parenthetical? If you skip that part and just try to do the practice exam questions, you won't have built up that habit of always making sure to check your parentheticals. You have? This one's a different one because it's kind of obscure. It's not my normal green, probably highlighted parenthetical. It's kind of a hidden one. So, good question. Let's see if they got it right. Yep. Definitely not the 55, because the 55 was just the biopsy on the cervix, right? We did cervix and endo and endometrial, so we could not have been a 55. That would have eliminated B and D. That's why the answer is A. Good job. Which radiology study utilizes contrast as part of a specific procedure? Which one of these uses contrast? Good job. Don't read. Don't go to bed. You're doing great. You got it right. I was just trying to confuse you. You did good. CT scans? Good job. What about this one? Are we in integumentary or are we in the 5-5s? which is male genitalia. We're definitely in the prostate, so we're probably not integumentary. We could get rid of at least B. And integumentary couldn't have been the most extensive procedure. I don't like D either. So out of A and C, did we do 2 procedures or 1? We have the same radiology. Would we add the 00 and the 06? 557. Oh, 06. There's a parenthetical with that one, says don't use the 706 with the 00. And that's all they're testing you on. That's easy enough. You're saying it's integumentary. Why are we integumentary? Fine needle aspiration. Well, the 76942, the 06 includes image guidance. You see the parenthetical that's underneath the 55700? It says for fine needle aspiration biopsies. We have to do those in integumentary. Just because they're biopsies of the prostate doesn't mean that they're always going to be back here in the prostate. If the biopsies are fine needle, we're going to utilize that integumentary. Good to know. I for sure would have gotten that one wrong. They're going to add the 59 modifier to it and times it by 4. Radiology is included in some of these prostate ones. So you do have to be careful. Like the 55706, it includes radiology. So C is a coding irregularity, so is D. But A could have radiology added to it. Very cool. We have 3 answers with the 316 and one that's 318. I would start out with these 316s. The 10 and the 15 are closest. 31610. 316. Three, 1, 6, 10. That's permanent. 15. Previous. 01 has to be younger than 2 years of age. We do have a 20-month-old, and they are creating an opening. What did we do today? What do you guys think the answer is? A is a revision. Everybody going with B? Good job. Perfect. Modifier. Are we a 52, which is a reduced service? 22 is unrelated, E&M. 58 is staged, and 77 is a repeat procedure. What did we do today? What do you guys think the answer is for this one? Yeah, it is a good question on that fine needle aspiration one. I like it. It's the exact opposite of all the other biopsy questions. Like if you have a biopsy of the ear, you don't do the biopsy in the front of the book, in the integumentary one. You have to do the one in the ear section. So the guideline is if you have another biopsy area listed underneath that body part, you're supposed to use it. If it's a biopsy of the bladder, you go to the bladder section. If you have a biopsy of the eyeball, you go to the eye section. If it's just of the skin and subcutaneous organ area around the surface of the body, you go to the skin integumentary issue area, unless it's ear, toes, you know, those kind of things. But the prostate one was a good one because it's the opposite. It's how the biopsy was performed. If it's a fine needle, then you do integumentary. If it's probably a core biopsy with a larger needle, you use the ones in the back. This is another one that's prostate tissue. Planned or staged? Good job. Perfect. Which of the statements below describes the difference between microbiology, definitive identification, and presumptive identification? We have two answers that start off with definitive and two answers that start off with presumptive. What do you guys think is the answer for this one? Maybe we'll get into some more lab and path ones. It'll tell us where to find the answer in, and the answer will be in the lab and path section for sure. It'll give us the page numbers in just a second, but it'll be right around 620, 618, 616, we've got the definition. 615, we've got the definition of presumptive, and we've got the definition of definitive in your guidelines. That's the good thing about this pocket prep thing, is when you pick an answer, C is your answer, and you hit the show, right here it'll tell you what page number the answer is. They're in the process of updating all the page numbers to the 2024 book, but right now they've got it. This one's marked on page 675. That seems really far high up, but for the 2023 book. Are we in the integumentary system, or are we in the, where are we at? Female genitalia system. Probably another biopsy one. Look at this. We got an abscess in that area. Would we be back there in the female area, or would we be in the integumentary area? Gotta go look for your parentheticals, all right? So 5, 6, 4, 5. We've got a parenthetical at the top. It says for, and it's not below this time, it's above. It says for incision and drainage of a sebaceous cyst, furuncle, or furry uncle, or an abscess, go see 140, 160, or 161. And we do have an abscess. What do you guys think the answer is for this one? And that's what I really like about pocket prep. It really forces you to learn how to use the CPT book. Really learn where things are located near codes. The one prior with the prostate, that parenthetical was underneath, after all the codes. This one, it's above it. Pocket prep really forces you to learn how to utilize the CPT book. It says 40, 60, or 61. 04, 1. Yep, good job. We've got a scope. Are we a 10, a 15, a 30, or a 35? This scope is going to have a biopsy. Verifying that we're indirect and not direct will be the key part in this one. Verify that you're under the right body part. You should be able to find that one easy enough. Almost 6,000 taps. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to join in on Sunday. We're going to do 75 questions in 3 hours. It's my birthday too. So I'm going to do a free workshop at 2 o'clock on YouTube. Tomorrow I have a 2-hour class on YouTube. Also, it's free. And we're going to do practice exam questions, probably some word matching. Yesterday we did a medical record note where we filled in the blank of the missing information. It's kind of fun to do something a little different each time. I hope to see you guys there. It's completely free for you guys. And the replay is available on YouTube afterwards. So if you can't stay the whole 2 hours, it'll be there. Yay, almost 7,000 likes now. Thank you guys. Go-kart, you saying the answer's D? Those are codes that people have reported previously as to those being on their exam at one point in time. Everybody saying A? Awesome. What about this E&M code? What's your header for 99222? Don't read the question yet. This one too has wrong information. Straightforward decision making. I don't know if I like that, but we'll leave it alone. We got the appropriate history. That's good. This one is admit. We've got 2 admit codes, 1 observation and 1 ER code. If you don't know the differences between these codes as fast as I can do them, I have some flashcards on my website that you can do over and over again, completely free, and it'll help you build your skills to where you know just what the headers are for the E&M codes, and you really need to do that for sure. Who was that took their exam today? Robin. I hope she knew all those headers today. Observation, ER, admit. Knowing her E&M headers is going to make a big difference. This patient was wheezing. They were placed in observation. They were not discharged, so I know I'm not going to do D. They're no longer in the ER because they were placed in observation. That's an admit code. So they're either admit low or admit high. So probably B, right? Yes, B. You have to be careful with this one because number one, they're just no longer in the ER if they're placed in observation. So if you ever see something like that where they're continuing to examine, that means the doctor isn't done examining them yet. The doctor came in, saw them once, gave some orders, and we'll come back and see them again after those orders are completed to see if they've been improved before they can be discharged and go home. If they leave AMA or take that kid out of there, we're calling CPS, you can't do that, you're admitted. So you're no longer an ER patient. So be careful with this one. And all you have to do is look for a discharge. If they did not discharge yet, then you know they're just a strictly admit code. Another integumentary. Are we in the 15s or did we do a 14? Are we an adjacent tissue transfer or are we doing a flap? I think is what those 15s are. Let me go look. 15 what? 15 1 1 5. Travis. Travis.
Sorry.
Turn it off. It sounds like a horror movie and you know better. You're not allowed to watch those. Travis. Autograph. Did we take a piece of body? Travis? Seriously, turn it off, baby. You're not allowed to watch the horror movies. No horror movies.
I'm not watching a horror movie.
Don't talk to me that way. What you consider a horror movie and what I consider a horror movie are two different things. Adjacent deflect running. They always know better. He's always getting away with tons of stuff on the TV when I'm not in there. And he knows I'm teaching a class. What's the name of that show, Travis?
Has been hotel.
Huh?
Has been hotel.
Has Been Hotel. Well, they're not being nice to each other. Has Been Hotel. It's an anime, but boy, they're being mean to each other. Friends don't throw fireballs at each other like that with hate in their eyes. We got a skin graft. Look at this blade. Don't come at me with nothing that's got the word wreck in the name. You're not wrecking me with no blade. Oh my goodness. Did we do a split thickness? Did we do an epidermal? Did we do a dermal? Where are we? 115 is epidermal. 1520 is a split thickness. R15 is epidermal. 20 is split thickness. R15-7, who knows what a 15-7-58 is. 15-7-58 is a free flap, facial flap with microvascular asomastosis. A flap, though. And then our 14041 is an adjacent tissue transfer. Well, The skin graft of an epidermis, even though we've got applied to the dermis, but we do have epidermis here. I don't think we're a flap. And then our 15 and 20. 20 is a split thickness. 15 is epidermis, blah, 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 maybe. Or we're in adjacent tissue transfer because it says the word adjacent defect right there. I'm sure it tells us somewhere in all these guidelines which one we should use. "15 is also only supposed to be used on infants and children." I don't think we have anything about whether this is a child or an adult. "14,041. Seems like it's an adjacent, doesn't it? Keeping up. Thanks for the follow. I don't see age mentioned either. They're saying 1520. 1520 is a split thickness graft. Split thickness because of the dermis and the epidermis. Split thickness. Split thickness. It's two different layers. A skin graft of the epidermis and a small portion of the dermis. Two different layers of skin for the graft. Good one. Love it. That's why it's the split thickness. You have dermis and epidermis both gathered for that one graft. I'm writing notes on this one. It's another good one. Mr. Pocket Prep, whoever you are writing these questions, good job. Yeah, it makes sense when you think about that. And the adjacent, yep. You know they throw that in there to make you think you're doing an adjacent tissue transfer, but there was no undermining. Figured it was not. You can get a graph from anywhere and put it anywhere, so. Split thickness. Don't we have definitions for these in here? We should keep. Prevalent. I know we got the ones for the autograph. Allograph. Where's our definitions of split thickness versus no, that's our definitions for, yeah, that's our definitions for flaps. Flaps and other graphs. Neurovascular. Yep, did not have any blood supply with this one. Skin substitute, not helpful. Cultured, not helpful. Skin replacement surgeries. I don't know, I have to keep looking where those are at. I know we've got our definitions for simple, intermediate, and complex and our adjacent tissue transfers, but I thought we had definitions listed somewhere about what the differences are between full thickness and split thickness graph somewhere here in Integumentary. But very cool question. Love it, love it. All right, if we're doing, oh, these are on the exam somewhere. It's either what's that thing that everybody gets injected in their face? Botulism. They have that question, or they have this chemo one. What's the botulism one? Makes sense to you now? These blephоспasms, we did bilaterally, so oftentimes you need that bilateral modifier, but every so often some of those CPT codes are for unilateral and bilateral all in one, and you don't need the modifier, so you better verify whether you need it or not. What do you think the answer is for this one? Anybody want to take a guess? Did you do a procedure that you can also bill for the chemical? Is the chemical already included in the procedure or not? Sometimes that makes a big difference on whether you can bill the J code or not. Sometimes you can't because it's already included. Sometimes you can. I got a D and a B. I got one of each. Another B. Good job. What about this one? Do you know your E&M headers? Don't worry about all the codes that come afterwards. 99213 is an established office visit. 90460 that seems like just an immunization code in the back of the code in medicine. 99211 is a nurse visit only, and 90471 is also an administration fee for a vaccine in the back of the book. The difference between the 60 and the 71 is whether counseling was done today with the vaccinations. So what was done today? The patient was seen 2 weeks ago and was unable to complete the vaccines due to the stomach virus. Today they're back to get the vaccine. Who saw the patient? The medical assistant did. So you know right away you're not going to bill a 213 because a physician would have had to seen the patient. Now you need to decide, would I bill the nurse visit or would I bill just the administration fees for today? 60 includes counseling being done on the individual components of the vaccine. 71 is just to pay for the syringes and needles or whatever for the vaccines. If you do get to bill in the 70s, do you also get to bill for the nurse visit? What vaccine was given today? We've got 2 vaccines, hepatitis A and influenza. So you need 2 codes for 2 vaccines, not just the administration fees. 74, 73 are both administration fees, I believe, and not vaccine codes. So I don't think it's C. This one, if it was B, would have required a counseling to have been done, and I don't see those words in the descriptor. So it must be the administration of the 2 vaccines only, and they did not charge a nurse visit. Perfect. Last one, we'll do this one and then I'm going to go check on my mama. Laminectomy, forectomy, and faucectomy. The ease of this question is that some of these codes, and only check the front ones, is that they might be child codes, so check their parents, but their parent code will include 3 procedures. You'll see this name in the main code for whatever the correct answer is. A lot of these are either just a LAMI or just a foreman, but one particular set of codes is doing all 3 of them in one code. You've got 2 with the same answer. The 63045. We can go to that one quicker. 630.
Mommy, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but so you know that Joker movie that you and Grandma John and you guys go in to see? I'm not watching it, but guess what? They're making a second one coming this fall, and guess who's starring as Harley Quinn? Lady Gaga.
Is she? That's
yeah,
awesome.
She's starring as Harley Quinn.
She'll be a great Harley Quinn.
I
Yes.
did not see that coming.
45. 45 does have all 3 of them in there. It is done unilaterally or bilaterally. Do you see that in the parentheticals? or the quotes that you, the brackets, it says unilateral or bilateral with decompression. It is cervical. So all you need to know is, would I add the 50 modifier to 45 or not? Because they did do it bilaterally. Yep, easy peasy. A is the answer. Good job, guys. I hope this has been super helpful. Thanks, Amy, for the rose. I really appreciate it. Those gifts are given back out. Tomorrow we'll give away 5 YouTube memberships with some of our TikTok money for our subscriptions and gifts. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow night for our live on YouTube. Thank you, Thank you, Go-Kart. Good to see you guys. I made some corrections to my website and to YouTube last night, so if the website wasn't working for you, try it again today. If you were trying to purchase something, it had a little quirk in it, and then some of the YouTube videos for our subscribers on YouTube were not working properly, so I've resent those out. So hopefully you've got access to all of the membership videos. If you are a YouTube member, you've probably not seen some of them that I added last night, so maybe there's some new videos for that. I added 3 TikTok repeat lives onto YouTube, also 2 of them today and 1 yesterday, so I got that done. I still have not filed my taxes. I still have to go do that. Oh gosh. I got till Monday, right? All right. I will see you guys tomorrow night. I can't wait. And then on Sunday, everything's going to be on YouTube. And I hope this was helpful. I'm proud of you guys. Robin, me and you going to chat. I'm going to send you a list of stuff to do for sure. Thanks for the email, and hang in there. Don't feel too defeated. It's not your fault. But I'm going to try my best to get you the needed techniques to avoid the psychological stuff that is in your way, preventing you from taking the exam, because they use psychologists to write those questions. So it's not your fault. We just need to practice some more. And tonight was a really good example of how you can really quickly get some things wrong if you're really not paying attention to what's inside that book. So I love how Pocket Prep forces you to use the book, for sure. For sure. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow night, 6:30. The link is already up for the YouTube thing for tomorrow night, so I'll see you then. I do have an ICD-10 notes. And when you go to my website at this medical coding by Jen thingy, it will, I'll show you where they're at if I can get it to, there we go. Just go to the shop, and this first set of bar is all CPT. This second bar is all ICD-10. So the anatomy notes are right there on the end. And then I have the pregnancy and diagnosis codes ones are right there. The sepsis, HIV are right there. And then there is the diabetes ones. Super helpful to get those. And don't forget to go to the resources tab, and under CPT Book Prep, it's completely free. It'll even show you how to do your ICD-10 notes right here too. Super helpful. Click on those pictures and it'll give you the instructions. But I think the kids are burning down the kitchen right now, so let me go check and see what they're burning. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. I hope this was helpful. Good night, guys. See you later. And I may follow you guys on TikTok, so don't be shocked if you get a request for me to follow. I like to see you guys' TikToks too. It's super fun.